So, President Trump accepting the invitation from Kim Jong Un to meet. And there are a lot of questions that certainly brings up, whether it's proof that Mr. Trump's strong rhetoric is paying off. That's an argument in favor. Former ambassador to China, former senator, the state of Montana, Max Baucus, joins us right now. But I believe you argue that it's not such a great idea, Senator. Tell us.
Well, Connell, we just don't know. What does Kim Jong Un want? I think we should put ourselves in his shoes. He's very smart. He's wily. He's dumb like a fox. He's been to, and North Korea has been to this rodeo before. What are his goals? Number one, he would like to divide South Korea from the United States. Number two, he very much wants to be on the world stage with American President Trump. That enhances his prestige tremendously, certainly with his home people. And add to that, he now is talking to the world from a position of strength. That is, he's already virtually a nuclear power. He's got a lot of cards to play here, and he's going to play them very adroitly because he's very smart. What are some of the things we have to work out here? Number one, is it full denuclearization of the peninsula? I doubt it. He's not going to agree to that. Is it going to be cutting back on some of the missiles, some of the nukes? Well, I don't know. How you verify that? What inspectors go in? We're going to want, for example, him to not proliferate, not sell nuclear technology to Pakistan and other countries. How do you verify that? So there's an awful lot here that we have to work through. But I think, frankly, in the first inning, Kim Jong Un's hit a home run. He got a meeting with the President of the United States. That gives him a lot to talk about.
Now, as I said, the counter kind of argument from the president's point of view, I would suppose, would be something like, you know what, we've tried a lot of different things with North Korea over the years, but we've never really tried this. So maybe it's worth a shot, you say?
Well, that's a good argument. I've dealt with North Korea lots. I've dealt with Chinese trying to deal with North Korea many times. Sat in meetings with President Xi many times. We didn't get anywhere, frankly. So we'll see.
So what should the president's, sorry to interrupt, but what should the president's goals be? You talked about what Kim Jong Un's goals might be or how they might already been accomplished. And you know, maybe you don't think it's a great idea, but now it is going to happen. The president's going in there. What should his goals be?
Well, clearly, we all want peace on the peninsula. That's the ultimate goal here, and we have to figure out how to do that. But we're going to have to consult with Japan, South Korea, and China, other allies to try to find a way to get that result. And it's going to be very complicated, but sitting down, talking with President Kim is a good start. Let's see where it goes. But go in with our eyes wide open. Get all our ducks in a row before we sit down and meet. This is extremely complicated stuff.
Well, we've already seen it that, you know, there's been this narrative out there that say, well, what if he's playing us, he being Kim Jong Un? And you know, Senator Lindsey Graham, I think it was, put a statement out last night kind of warning against that in no uncertain terms, saying, hey, you better not be playing President Trump or, you know, basically wipe you off the face of the earth. So that would lead to the theory that maybe this could go one of two ways, either be terrific or terrible. Is there a middle ground?
Well, like most things, it's deeds, not words. And the deeds here are the proof of the pudding. What is each side going to put on the table in terms of actual actions and deeds? And clearly we want peace, and I assume Kim does too. He would also like, frankly, to have control of the peninsula if he could himself. We're not going to agree to that, clearly.
No.
So let's keep working at it. Let's see what happens here. Let's work toward peace. But remember, we got to be clear-eyed, keep our eyes wide open. This guy Kim's a very clever fella.
I know. As a final question, just a real quick answer for time, what about China's role in this? Are they helping or hurting? I know you know the Chinese quite well.
Yeah. Well, China would like to see stability on the peninsula. That's basically what China wants. China, however, does not want a peninsula controlled by South Korea / the United States. They don't want that at all. So they're watching. There's a phone call already today between President Xi and President Trump. President Xi basically saying, okay, well, gee, thanks for doing this, Mr. Trump, and just hope things work out well. That's typical of the Chinese. They don't say much. They just stay in the background, but they're watching very closely. Any solution on the peninsula is going to have to include China, because China is the big boy on the block here.
All right. Former Senator Max Baucus, also the former ambassador to China. Thank you, sir.